Hello.
Now you have to have a down-to-earth personality
I
through this
know. What
interview
if I
because
totally don't? What if I diva out on you right now and start demanding things just because?
I mentioned it's fun watching you listen to your own song and bopping your head. I mentioned your album is number one across North America right now. Does that is that a yawn for you at this point, or do you still get surprised and buzzed and elated by seeing that?
If anything, it's more of a triumph than it ever was, because this is my fourth album, and you always wonder what's going to happen when the new wears off. And I've been lucky enough,
For you or for the audience, the new one?
for the audience, and when a new artist comes out, they're new and shiny, and they create this, this new personality on your radio and in your lives. It's always fun. I think it's harder to sustain that. So with every album, getting that in the beginning and selling and still being able to get number ones on the radio, it becomes even more and more important.
Feels like a victory.
Yeah.
I was having trouble defining you because we talk about new country, but I mean, it really, it sounds like a pop record. So, do you care about these kind of designations? I mean, do you like to be thought of as a country artist or a pop artist, or how do you self-define?
I'm country, but I'm influenced. I'm influenced country.
You're under the influence.
Yeah, I'm not under the influence, but I mean, I feel like I'm like a lot of people, especially young people right now. I mean, I grew up listening to everything, and I've considered myself extremely blessed. I was exposed to a wide range of music as a child, and always had such an appreciation for great music. Period. So my goal is to create country music that everyone can like.
But when you listen back to that song, you say, "I'm a country singer."
Yeah. Yes, I do. Yeah.
That's. I mean, it is very accessible pop. Let me get back to the record in a bit because your story is an interesting one, and maybe not everybody knows it. You were a kid singing at church and talent shows in Muskogee, right? Am I saying that right?
I actually grew up in Shakota.
Okay.
Muskogee was the closest hospital, so that's where I was born.
Okay. Is when you were doing that, when you're singing in church and talent shows as a kid, is this the career you envisioned?
I did not envision being in the music business at all. I'm a thinker. I'm a practical person. I'm a list maker. I'm a planner.
As a kid too.
Yeah. This isn't real. I'm lucky. I had some really great inspiration growing up. A lot of country music artists, especially, come from Oklahoma, and to have people like Vince Gill, like Reba McEntire, like Garth Brooks, all people who are, Toby Keith, awesome in their own ways. They came from towns just like mine, so it was great to grow up having that. I guess I don't know. It always happened to someone else, not me.
So when you say you're practical and you're a list maker, even as a kid, what kind of lists were you making?
I mean, okay, camp. I'd go away to church camp in the summer, and I would make a list of everything I was going to take with me, and outfits and shoes to go with this, and then, I can't forget my swimsuit, and I need, all of these things.
Are you a bit OCD?
Not like
Right.
diagnosed
Right.
anything,
But you're very
I have
particular.
my isms, and I think especially now in my life, since it is kind of nutty, I do have a few things in my life that are a little odd that I have control of.
Like what?
My pantry, my refrigerator, they're all labels facing out. They're all very organized. They're always fully stocked. I love going to the grocery store. I'll spend hours in there.
The
Drives
food
my
in the
husband
fridge
crazy.
has labels on it.
Well, it's like the labels facing out. It's neat.
Oh, I see. The labels on the
Organized,
stuff for right.
My soda goes
You
here.
can't put
my
the
water
cottage
goes
cheese in the
here,
wrong
my-
way. Well, you don't eat cottage
Right.
cheese, right?
Well,
You're
but-
vegan.
Right.
But you okay? You can't put.
It bugs me. Okay, Mike will come home with food he bought at the grocery store, and he just puts it in there, and I have to go back and rearrange everything and put it where it's supposed to
Yeah,
be.
that's pretty particular. Although I hear you, I'm kind of a similar way, but people get annoyed by that.
Oh, well, it's
In
just
my
me.
case, anyway.
At least that stuff stays in the home.
So you're being practical, and you think that this is all a dream. But long before American Idol, you were 13 when you went to Nashville to audition for Capitol Records, right?
Yeah, well, I kind of had this. I would do talent shows, and this guy, like a local businessman, saw me and kind of wanted to help, and none of us had any idea what we were doing. We're gonna go to Nashville. What does that mean? I don't know. So he somehow managed to. It was kind of like a artist development thing. You
Right.
know, nothing signed. It was
Right.
just somebody else was kind of fitting the bill to see what I would do.
But you almost signed a deal.
Well, we never actually finished the like recording stuff,
Right.
because I don't know why. I mean, but I was young. That would have been the worst thing that could have happened to me. I think.
You wouldn't have had the tools as
I wouldn't have,
emotionally, right?
right. I wouldn't
Or-
have been to high school or college or
right.
grown up
And
at all.
what did you learn in terms of your approach to music from that experience?
I mean, I was 13. I probably didn't learn much of anything, to be honest. I learned, I guess, now looking back that, you know, things are very fickle, and, you know, you just never know what's going to happen in the old music biz.
Okay, so practical Carrie goes on to plan B. You pursue it and you get a communications degree at college. Were you planning on being a journalist?
That was the hope. I took as many classes as I could, because nobody really ever actually ends up doing what they go to school for, right? What their degree says. Not quite. Maybe
Right.
kind of close. But I took advertising classes and like PR stuff. All my electives were legitimate classes.
And when you're doing that and you're working in some retail shops and things like that, did it always feel like second best to you? Did you always kind of be going, oh, I know I really ultimately want to be a singer? Or were you thinking you're going to go into this field, communications somehow, media, et cetera?
I mean, I'm the kind of person, I feel like I'd be happy wherever I ended up. You know, if I had gone into broadcast journalism, you know, being on the nightly news, or, you know, whatever, camera work or editing, I loved all that stuff. I would have been happy. I don't think I ever would have felt like I was, you know, not where I needed to be. I would have worked hard at whatever I'd done.
Wow, well, you have a very sunny
But
personality.
I love singing, and I always that would be a part of my life anyway.
But is this a way of saying that singing is not your ultimate passion?
It is, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world
If it didn't work out.
if it hadn't happened.
What about now? If it was all taken away from you, would that be the end of the world?
No.
After you've
No.
achieved all this success? If this album was selling zero,
I'd find something else to do. There's enough things in life.
you think it'd roll off you that easily?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
I do. I mean, I'd miss being on stage, but I'd still get to sing. No one can stop that. No one can stop me like singing around the house. Nobody can stop me singing at church.
So American Idol happens. What made you revive the dream and try out for that show in the first place?
I mean, it really was kind of destiny. I don't know, that sounds so cheesy and weird, but I was at home one weekend at my parents' house, and it just happened to be on the news that they were trying out in Cleveland. People were sleeping outside, and they were interviewing people. So I got on our dial-up internet and checked out where they were having auditions, and St. Louis was the closest.
And by the way, this is only like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So this has all happened pretty quickly. So not only did you win the competition, you've gone on to become the most commercially successful American Idol winner ever. I mean, not all American Idol winners can parlay that TV show into a career. And I've heard you speak highly of the experience, and it certainly created an audience for you. Was there ever a point when you feared being defined by that show as just another winner of a reality show?
No, because anything I would have done with that would have been more than I ever would have been able to do. It's not like I was wanting to get away from American Idol. That's why I am here right now. That's why I got to make an album. And if after that I disappeared into space, that would have been more than I ever would have gotten it done. So I would still be eternally grateful.
What about now? 4 albums in, an established career. Does it bug you when people still call you the American Idol winner?
No, not at all. I love going back to the show. I love being a part of it. I love seeing contestants on there doing what I did and putting it all out there. It's the ultimate opportunity. What happens after the show's over, I mean, it depends on a lot of different factors, but I'm so proud to have been a part of that. And I feel like since then I've proved myself time and time again that hopefully nobody can question, nobody can say, oh, she's just a reality television show winner. Like, you know, she's not actually talented. I mean, I work really hard.
Well, on Idol, you were covering other people's songs. As a solo artist, audiences may expect to hear the real you, your own words. How did the pressure of songwriting expectations affect you when you went out on your own?
It wasn't really pressure. I thought after I made the first one, there wasn't a whole lot of time to get into the whole songwriting process. I got to go to a couple different like writers retreats and just kind of see how it all worked and meet a lot of really great
Had you
people.
written before?
Not seriously. I've always been good with words and good when I write things down on paper and it all makes sense and it's all a good story. But as far as songwriting, I mean, I never thought I'd use that. So
You've said that
sit down
you
and
used to
write
think if you threw out an idea, everyone would think it was stupid.
And that is the beginning. In the very beginning, there are these people that have had #1 hits,
Right.
but they're all super nice. I mean, a lot of the people that I work with, they wouldn't stick me with, some guy with a big head who's had like 40 #1s and, thinks he's awesome. And they put me with people that were real people that I could enjoy my time with.
And how do you overcome the feeling of because all of us, many of us have felt it if you're in the arts that I'm not legit, I'm not a real writer yet, how was that surpassed for you?
I think the more you do it, practice, it's in the beginning, you do feel, what am I doing here? Why am I trying this? And I didn't put a lot of pressure on myself to be a writer. If I could, I could. If I couldn't, there's plenty of songs out there I feel like I can make believable and make my own.
Are you really this easygoing?
I think so.
Are you?
It's just, why try to force something or why worry about things that you really can't control? If I'm a terrible writer.
But the labels in the fridge have to be the right way.
Right. I can control that. So that's... Yeah.
Well, you co-wrote half the songs on Blown Away. That's the most you've written for any of your records. Why don't you feel like you need to write all the songs?
I'd be missing out. I mean, and I feel that way. I'm not stupid. There's a lot of writers in Nashville that are absolutely amazing, and they write amazing songs. And some of my favorite songs on this album, I did not write, and I would be missing out on them. I want to make the best album possible. Period. And basically, after I get done writing, spending a lot of time, I submit my songs like everybody else does, and what comes to the top comes to the top. And I'm good at cutting my own stuff too.
You are.
That's not good enough.
You
I don't like it.
You have a sense of what's good and bad when you make of your own creations.
I think so. I mean, I'm never going to walk in with a bad song claiming it's the best song in the universe. I like to consider myself a little smarter than that.
Country music has this long-born emphasis on telling first-person stories, whether you're writing about them or about yourself or someone else. You've compared your role in your songs to that of an actor, which is interesting.
Yeah, some of the songs are very personal. I think it's mainly people ask me about love songs, and they're like, "But you're so happy, but you're married, but we figured you'd kind of start."
I was going to get to that.
Yeah,
What's your problem with love songs?
That's my life. That's my life. I live that every day. I don't want to sing about that. That's boring. and there's so many love songs that are fluff, and I turn the channel because it's like Valentine's Day. I hate Valentine's Day.
You hate Valentine's Day.
I hate it. I can't stand it.
Even with Mike Fisher, your new husband, you guys don't celebrate Valentine's Day.
No. No, we don't.
Because, okay, what's wrong with Valentine's Day?
It's expected.
Uh-huh.
It's expected. I don't want somebody to have to love me one day out of the year.
But are you saying that when you were growing up, there wasn't love songs that touched your heart, that made you cry?
Yes, but very few. You know what I mean? It's not writing a love song to write a love song and have a love song on my album. If something came across that was absolutely amazing, that was real and true, which should be one in a million songs, then I'm going to sing it.
Are you a romantic?
No. No, sometimes, but overall.
Some of the songs, Carrie, on Blown Away are much darker than that one. You sing about a wife and mistress teaming up for revenge on two black Cadillacs. The title track is about a girl who locks herself in a storm cellar while her alcoholic father is passed out on the couch when a twister rolls through town. Did you actively seek out edgier stories and sounds for this record?
No. We had a couple songs, in the... I really like this, and these could go on the album. And then I heard Blown Away, and that one kind of opened a door that made it okay to have other songs that had different content on it, like that one did. Two Black Cadillacs just kind of happened. We didn't go in trying to write this thing. When we went in there, Josh Keir, one of the writers, had the title and had kind of a track. Didn't know what it was about, didn't know what Two Black Cadillacs meant. And we kind of wrote the story around that. But it was just a, soap opera. It's fun.
You do seem like a very affirmative person. You referenced earlier, you said people say you're happy all the time. How would you describe the dark side of Carrie Underwood?
It's I don't think I have a dark side. I think I can cop an attitude occasionally, but I'm a lady, and we have many faces that we can wear, and it's fun to access that.
What do you do when you get angry?
I cry. To be honest, it's one of those. It makes me so mad too. It makes me even more upset when I'm mad and I'm trying to make my case, and stupid tears start coming out.
And what really angers you in people? What's something that you don't like about people?
I'm a big respect person. I want people to have respect for other people. I want them to have respect for their surroundings, for everything, the way they treat their home, the planet, the animals that live on there, the people that live here. Just having respect for the world.
Animals
and the life
are big
that
to
you're
you.
given.
Animals
They
are a big deal to you, and PETA has awarded you in the past for your work around. Well, they have, right?
Sexiest vegetarian.
Sexiest vegetarian,
Like
but
it's
a big deal for
that
PETA.
Counts. Yeah.
I'm glad you laughed that off. Let me ask you a couple things before I let you go. You were here in Canada. You're relatively newlywed, married to a Canadian, of course, Mike Fisher, the Predators, Nashville Predators. When you cross the border into Canada, do people just want to talk to you about hockey and Mike?
No. No.
Okay.
I don't think I've actually gotten as many hockey questions as
you thought you would?
Yeah. Now obviously he plays for Nashville, and it's different.
You're a fan of the game.
I am now.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with it, but knowing somebody and then having Nashville and being there, and it's so easy to go to. I went to like 90% of the home games.
Yeah. You've been ubiquitous there.
Yeah.
People
Someone told
you're...
me they'd seen me on like sports night and whatever. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even know I hear about
you're trending on Twitter whenever the Nashville
gosh.
Predators play because we see you.
I'm so sorry, everybody.
Let me ask you about your definition of success before I let you go, because this has been an amazing ride for the last few years for you, record after record, tremendously successful. I mentioned earlier some of the many awards you've won for your music, let alone Sexiest Legs and Vegetarian and all that. Most pop singers do feign modesty when talking about awards. You've been quite honest. You expressed disappointment when you weren't nominated for Entertainer of the Year at the Country Music Awards for your last record. How important are those honors to you in your definition of success?
I'm so proud of the ones that I have been able to take home. It's not just a victory for me. It's everybody that works with me, band, crew. When we go on tour, which we put together an incredible tour that I'm so proud of, the Play On tour. And of course, when you do that, and then award show time rolls around, you're holding your breath because you want that. Recognition. In the end,
you want to win.
Yeah, of course. Right. I wouldn't go if I didn't want to win. I wouldn't even, bother with it. But at the end, I don't know who won Female Vocalist in 1987. I don't know. So at the end of my career, are people going to be able to say, oh, yeah, she won Entertainer of the Year and blah, blah, blah? No, that's not what defines success for me.
What does define success for you?
Being happy what I'm doing, helping people along the way, being able to use, and this is something Mike's really helped me with because he's such a passionate guy in helping others. He has the biggest heart for people, and I feel like together we can do more good in the world, and I hope at the end of our lives and at the end of our careers we can look back and more people will have been affected by the things that we've done, or been able to donate money, or we've been able to talk to kids and help out different people or different organizations. That's the stuff that matters.
How long do you think you'll play music for?
No clue. I don't know. I mean, good Lord willing, I've got a while ahead of me. But I'm along for the ride until then, you know, and I just want to do what I do and do what I love and try to, you know, stay happy and
It's a
yeah.
good pleasure talking to you.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
being
You
here
too.
today.